Get ready with me for bed. Okay, so today I went bowling with my guides. So I actually put on a little bit of contour. I put on some blush, highlighter, and brushed my eyebrows. So you know what that means, it's time to wash my face. But before that, I am going to take my jewelry off and my watch off. And I am taking my watch off just so then my skin can breathe a little bit. Because it does leave this mark. So like look at that huge mark. Okay, so I'm going to ask my parents to take this off. Because what was really annoying is that with my first one that I had, I was trying to take it off and then this part decided to give up and hang off of one thread. So my dad ordered me a replacement. So yeah, I'm now going to make my parents do it. I'll see you once this is taken off. Okay, we've taken it off and I'm going to wash my face and then after that I'll tell you a bit about bowling and kind of how chaotic it was. But it was also really fun. Okay, I've washed my face, now I want to tell you some things about it. Also, I don't know why my lips are so red. I struggled to pause it there. Anyways, so we arrived at the place we're meeting up at about 6:30. And then me and the guides walked to the actual place and we arrived at the bowling place at about 6:50. By the way, there was 4 guides there, and if you are kind of confused about I literally said that there was 3 guides. Well, there is 3 guides, but there's this girl that comes on the trip. She has actually finished guide, so she was a guide, but she finished a couple months ago, but she's still coming on the trips. Anyway, so we arrived at the place and I was so surprised of how loud it was. By the way, there was 3 leaders, so 2 which is the main and then 1 that just kind of comes and goes, you know what I mean? But the 3rd one, who usually comes and goes, actually stayed for the whole time but didn't do any bowling. Anyways, let's get into the actual part. Also, I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, so we arrived at the place and I'm kind of nervous because I always am. And I am so surprised of how loud it is. Keep in mind, it's in an arcade, okay? So it's an arcade, a bowling place, it's gonna be loud. Anyway, so we sign in, all that stuff, and we get put into a lane. And it's a lane where it's like our lane, then a table separating us, and then a bench. So there's 2 lanes in the same little area. And in that little area that we were opposite, there was really not sensible, really bad behaviored boys around about me and Izzy's age. Keep in mind, I'm 11 and Izzy's 13. And there's no parents around, no parents. And they, out of nowhere, had these coats, okay? So we are settling in, we're taking our coats off, and they have cokes on the table. And when we arrived, the boys were all spread out around where our lane was, so they had to move. I mean, I get that because no one was in the lane at the time. Anyways, and then they're all messing around, and then suddenly they knock this huge jug of Coca-Cola on the floor. No, but I'm telling you, I had to hop, to get away from it. And so a worker comes and starts cleaning it up, and then the boys keep blaming each other. At this point, my anxiety levels are up here, I cannot do this. But then, thankfully, the worker actually moved us to the VIP section, which was pretty quiet, so my anxieties were back down there. So we were playing bowling, and then we had a game break, and then they told us to go get some drinks, And so us guides, the leaders stayed, but us guides went and got drinks. Okay, so at this point, I'm not as nervous as I was in the non-VIP section. And so, I was just everything's fine now. And the people opposite us were really kind, they didn't want anything to do with us. Anyways, I finished my routine, so I'm just gonna keep on going. So everyone except for Izzy brought some money. I had my card and I had a £10. So I told Izzy that I'll just pay for our drinks, you know. So I paid for me and Izzy's drinks. I got a Fanta with ice and a small Fanta with ice, and then Izzy got a small blue slushy. And it came about to £5. So I just gave them cash. Anyway, so we're walking back and we settle in back in like we're about to play. And this same group of boys that were in the non-VIP section is now behind us. Thankfully, we were sitting down like this and we had a wall behind us, so we were separated, but we could clearly still see them. And they were being very loud. So now my anxiety levels are about mid, okay? Like, I don't want nothing to do with these boys. And so basically, we're like all just playing, you know, like having the time of our lives. When suddenly we heard this. Oh yeah! Like really loud. And I think someone pulled a strike. But yeah, they were going crazy, like absolutely crazy. Me and Izzy were just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And like I would wait for my turn excitedly, but when it came to my turn for bowling, I realized that I had to, because there was like a bit separated where the seats are, but then like when you have like the bowling bit where you do that, none of it's separated, so they can easily cross to your side. So when it's my turn, I realized, oh no, I've got to be next to these boys. And these boys, right, I wanna do a demonstration. So my group, right, is so nice. We're going like this, you know, all nice. The boys beside us is literally throwing it and it lands so loudly. So they clearly didn't care like how loud they were being. And at this point there were adults, but they didn't say anything about them. Like they didn't say be quiet, be quiet. They were just normally talking. And then it got about like 10 to 8 and we had finished our 2 games, so we went and then we sat down and we kind of just waited. And then we walked outside and then Izzy's mom picked us up and brought me back to my house, and then obviously went back to Izzy's house. But it was very chaotic but also really fun, and I would definitely go on more guides trips since there's only been 2 since I've joined. But I would definitely not go camping because like I hate being away from my parents for a night. But yeah, I do think there should be a more like time, maybe like 2 hours instead of an hour. Like, yeah, like, hold on, let me do maths. So there should be about 2 hours instead of an hour and a half because it really felt like 10 minutes. Plus there was 4 guides and 2 leaders doing it, so it was a lot and we had 2 goes each. So like 1, 2, next person, 1, 2, you know. And yeah, so it was kind of chaotic but also really fun, and I'll definitely go again. And also during that trip, I saw a girl from my swimming class. We didn't say hi because she didn't see me, and by the time I had passed her, I didn't really place her until like I actually placed her. I was like, oh, I should have said hi. Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you at some point. Bye!